Well, Steve, despite an amazing, unprecedented 380 yards, 6 TD performance in his first preseason game, Shedeur Sanders did not move up the depth chart. There's a tweet on Cleveland's second depth chart. Go back, brother. Let me read this. On Cleveland's second depth chart of the summer, here is how the Browns are listing their quarterbacks this week. Joe Flacco, number 1. Kenny Pickett, number 2. Dylan Gabriel, number 3. And Shedeur Sanders, number 4. Steve, this is a case, I'm sure, of clear, unadulterated racism. How could that man play that well against Carolina and not race up the depth chart? What happened here?
The disrespect. The disrespect is blatant, and I'm outraged. This is no way to treat a current Pro Football Hall of Famer. Okay? And looking at that depth chart, though, Jason, seriously, so Dylan Gabriel is still number 3. I'm going to make a prediction. I believe with certain Cleveland Browns fans, Dylan Gabriel is going to be the most hated quarterback since John Elway. I'm just telling you, I actually feel bad for Dylan Gabriel. He's just a guy was probably overdrafted. I don't know if his game really translates to this level. He doesn't play. It is clear by the shots that they were showing in Carolina. Every time Shedeur did something good, they panned to the crowd, and I'd be like, wow, the Shedeur really does have a bit of a following, right? That fan base or that particular segment of it, they do not want Dylan Gabriel, and it's to a point they probably don't even want Deshaun Watson to even try to play football again. Jason, I'm going to say it again. It's the most fascinating story of August.
It is the most complicated and somewhat compelling story or why people have this love affair. And I asked this question yesterday, and you know, what makes Shedeur so special? And I guess it's they have instantly turned him into a victim in terms of he you know, not getting drafted in the first round grants him victim status, and anybody that's a victim, we think, oh, that's a victim. He joined the victim club. It's like joining the right fraternity in college. Oh, I'm Kappa Alpha Psi, I'm Omega Psi Phi, I'm whatever. I'm now part of this in group, and we all, there's a victimhood fraternity that once you get inducted into it, you get all these special benefits and privileges and support. And that, you know, how they've made Shedeur a victim blows my mind. He's the son of a multimillionaire athlete who's been wearing designer clothes and fancy jewelry and driving Maybachs and all this for a long period of time. I just don't know how he's a victim.
Well, Jason, if you really look at it, so he's like the sports version of the gated community revolutionary. But I was thinking about this. Coming into that draft, he was given superstar status. He was a celebrity. First round, built his own little draft room, real fancy. But as he slid out of the first, that is where it started to change the narrative. And then as the second night of the draft ended, the end of round 3, and then you get into that third day, and there was also talk like, wow, is he getting drafted at all? It firmly became victimhood status. There's no doubt. And then he became a martyr. So that's really what it's become. I mean, if he was a first-round draft choice, let's say Mike Tomlin would have said, okay, we need a quarterback. I'm going to go young here. Tomlin would have been lionized. He would have been given status. But in a way, I know you may disagree with me, this whole situation and the way the scenario played out, it actually helped Shedeur. Because then if he fails, then you know what the storyline is. Well, he was set up to fail. He was never given a fair chance. So in a way, Jason, in a twisted way, you could argue this is kind of a win-win for Shedeur.
What do you think of Ryan Clark? There's a difference between being humble and getting humbled, and that, you know, these people that tried to humble Shedeur are awful and terrible. I don't get it.
Every time I listen to a Ryan Clark soliloquy, it reminds me of one of the great satires of all time, Don't Be a Menace. Because after every one of his speeches, I just feel like blurting out, message! That's what I think, okay? Seriously, message. I don't think anyone was trying to humble him. I really don't. I just think there's a bunch of football teams that said individually, because think about it. They're all in the same league, but they're all competitors. It's a cutthroat business. They're trying to win games. And I think 32 teams, or maybe at least 31, said, not for us. Not our type of guy. He doesn't fit our culture. We don't think he's good enough, or we already have a good lineup of quarterbacks here. I don't think it was some sort of conspiracy. Now, speaking of another line, you're right. I think there was a line. I think it was this movie, Don't Be a Menace, where someone got shot, I think, right? And they had like a list. And the list was from the man. It was Malcolm. It was Martin. And then it was Omar Epps' character. And according to Ryan Clark, Shedeur Sanders is the latest guy on that list to get offed.
Steve, here's my problem, and it's why I started the show where I did. In terms of, as you get old and gray like me and you, all we have left to offer is wisdom. And I don't see Ryan Clark and these guys imparting wisdom. There are things I did in my youth out of a lack of humility, and I immediately go to my Ball State football career. I was delusional. I had no humility. And from Paul Shedeur, our head coach, to Dave Magazoo, our offensive line coach, to Jeff Carpenter, our strength and conditioning coach, to, I could rattle off all these coaches, Mark Maurer, our offensive coordinator, Greg Meyer, they all tried to humble me, and I rejected it. And it was a mistake. It's one of the biggest mistakes. And I ended up having a successful career at Ball State, but I came nowhere near reaching my potential because I just thought, and mine wasn't even, it wasn't a racial thing with me in terms of my coaches. It was just more like, I was an idiot and I was full of myself from, our high school football team was nationally ranked. Jeff George was our quarterback. I was a really, really good high school player, and I was an idiot and full of myself. And for 2 years, these guys tried to humble me. Some of it took in year 3, but it really wasn't until I got away 2 or 3, 4 years from Ball State that my eyes started coming open like, man, I did that all wrong. Man, I could have been a really, really great Ball State football player if I had just bought in and humbled myself. And then as I moved into my 40s, it really opened up my mind, and I got it. I don't understand why Ryan Clark and these guys aren't trying to impart wisdom to these young people. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a moment of Fearless.